like, no, I'm not the target. And she was very disappointed that I wasn't the target for some reason. So she had, I guess, a lot of material. So maybe your family felt the same way when they thought, oh, we get to roast you? Oh, how fun. Because the people I sat at the table with, the roasters, they're very excited right now. They're very excited about this night. Anyway, Tammy and I met in the early days of my career at the Big Z. I was lucky enough to do some live remotes at TR's Cafe in downtown, just down the hill from the station. In fact, those remotes were much better than my very first remote as I worked there. My very first remote was a lawnmower repair shop in the middle of nowhere somewhere on a Tuesday morning, and we talked about blade sharpening for a long, long time. Bagels are much more fun to talk about. Bagels are much more fun. No disrespect to people in the lawnmower repair business. It's very important, and I like that because I'm not good at it. So, but this is a weird remote. TR's Cafe remotes were a lot of fun. She also asked me and arranged through our sales staff to come down for the TR's Cafe Wood River ribbon cutting. Now, I don't know if you've ever done a ribbon cutting on the radio. This was in the day before RiverBender and live streaming and Facebook, everything. It was on the radio, and the live remote was through the phone line. And I was a little concerned. What are we going to do? I mean, the ribbon, it comes, and then what? Am I supposed to do a click sound effect with my mouth? I mean, what are we doing? Tammy, of course, was totally professional. We had done remotes already before at her Alton location, came down. It was in the morning. Typically, the remotes were middle of the day. This is first thing in the morning. So I skipped out in the morning show, came right down to downtown Wood River. Everything was all set up. People started arriving from the Growth Association. You know what I thought we could do? Can you come up here now, Tim? I want to do something. I have this idea. So, rather than talk about it, I want to see if we can recreate the ribbon cutting here, live and in person. So I went to the store, and hang on a second, hold that. Okay, so I got some bagels. In case you get hungry later, I got some bagels for you. This was not scripted, by the way. This is not on the PowerPoint.
Which is very scary for the two of us.
Right.
I can't get you.
Okay. Anyway, so we came down, and I knew this was going to happen, and Nick is enjoying this quite a bit right now. Nick Darr from Big Z staff is enjoying watching me struggle to do this.
See, this is when I usually hand it to my husband.
Right. Seriously? All right, here we go. Awesome. All right. So I want you to play along here. I really should have opened this up before we started the show. How long do we have the room, Karen? Is this a long thing? You have got to be kidding me. So I heard this, but it's very Andy Kaufman. If anybody knows Andy Kaufman, is very, okay. Oh, this is even better that it's a thin ribbon. Can you hold that? Okay. So, come over here. All right. I need you to, we're going to pretend this is on the radio back in, when did TR's Wood River open? Hey, when?
95.
95? Are you sure?
And then the 2000, then we moved down to the one where we did this ribbon cutting.
Yeah.
In 2000? 97.
97? That's the first year wow. Anyway.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah, okay. So close your eyes and listen. The magic of radio. Seriously, close your eyes, listen, close your eyes and listen. Because this is what it sounded like on the radio that morning. And I thought, that was it? Oh, God, please, yeah, that's right. Since you're here, just put that.
Oh my gosh.
Since you're here, we might as well go ahead and start this thing. Yes. Hang on a second. I was told, in case you get if you want to take the lid off that for a second, I got it.
This is the best, right? A Diet Dr. Pepper. Y'all just talk away. Oh my gosh. This is one of the best things you've ever done for me.
And in case this goes long, here's an extra. need to do that. Anyway, I typed on the sheet, recreate magical moment of the cutting of the ribbon. So we've already done that. So let's move on. Tonight, we are proud to have some of Tammy's, you didn't think you'd be up here already. You were like, wait for me to go on for a long time. She's taking this deep breath right now. I'm so glad my part is done. Angie Darden and Megan Pryor, they are so excited to come up here.
I'm taking notes.
She has her book, and she's keeping the track of the grievances, I'm sure. So if Angie and Megan can come up first for their part, let's hear it for Angie and Megan.
Hi, everybody. Oh, so Tammy, before we get started, we think that it's imperative that you're able to see these. So can you, do you need to turn a little?
I can see that one.
Can you see this one? Okay. We might have to move you.
There we go.
Perfect.
Yay.
There we are.
So here we are, Megan and Angie, the two coolest people on the Refuge staff, if that wasn't already a tell. So in case you guys don't know what Refuge is, one of the agencies housed in Riverbend Family Ministries that Tammy runs. We've worked there for quite a while, Angie and I together, so we were asked to do this tonight and we're super excited. Angie?
Yes, and Refuge, we see children birth to 11 that have trauma. We're a free counseling agency, and so we look forward to our coming to work literally every day with Tammy, and so we're super excited.
Sometimes, not all the time.
Sometimes.
Yeah,
Most of the time, we look forward to that.
Okay, so I first met Tammy in 2015. It feels like a million years ago, but 2015 when I came on as an intern with Refuge. I was a little bit confused at first, though, because I thought that I was interning for a counseling position and not for a seat on the Magic School Bus. You guys can't deny the resemblance is uncanny. Oh, and also, purple's her favorite color. I know she'll tell you that it's not, but it's her favorite color. So
Literally.
the more that you can wear purple around her, it brings her joy. She loves
Correct.
it so much. So other interns over the years that worked with Refuge were always messing with Tammy, pulling pranks on her, telling jokes, messing with her office, trying to kind of get into her good graces, like comically. I never had to do that because I was automatically her favorite. So I didn't have to worry about any of that ever. But actually, I started to question if I really was her favorite when I got a picture she had taken of me in a group message. And I was like, wait a second, maybe I'm not after all. And Aaron, I apologize. I love you. This is not a roast about you. Yours will be some other time. Funny story, I did go to Tammy when I found out I was going to do this, and I said, I don't know, are you sure you want me to roast you? And she said, well, what am I going to do, fire you? I can't fire you, but Aaron can. So please don't over this picture. It's much worse of me than it is of you. But anyways, see, Tammy likes to call me the filter queen around the office. Basically what that means is I like to put filters on my pictures, and it's kind of a running joke in the office that before we all take a picture, I'll say, well, hold on, we need a filter. Like, we have to put a filter on it.
It's true.
But I never hear anybody complain about how beautiful they look after the pictures come out. So here's an example of some of my work. See how beautiful we all look? Lovely. Very, very nice. No complaints. Look how beautiful. Tammy, you always look beautiful. But look how beautiful we all look there. Very nice. But you know, despite my strengths at picture taking, there are some pictures that even I can't fix. Sorry, Tammy.
So we're just going to leave that there and let
As a
you just
visual
enjoy
for the
that
remainder.
moment.
Yes. And notice she's in purple, so that's very important, her favorite color.
And the background.
But Tammy, you are beautiful, and you're always handling everything with such grace. And there's been a lot of things that you've had to handle gracefully over the years, like a lot of things. And we thought that we would talk about them a little bit. In fact, we're going to sing about them. And if you guys feel compelled to, you're welcome to join us in singing. We thought it'd be fun if like the whole crowd does. We are going to put the words up. So no pressure, but seriously, you're going to sing with us. So this is to the sound of music, and unless you live under a rock, we know you know this
But
song.
what Megan forgot was that I hadn't introduced myself and how I know Tammy. So, funny she did that. But I've known Tammy since, quite a while. And so, probably back since maybe TRs for sure. And then we came down to the building about 2009, 2010. Does that sound about right, Aaron? And so I got to know her in a very personal way, which I'll be sharing with you very quickly here. It's the story she expected, but there's so much more. There's so much more to our story together. And so I'm the case manager with Refuge, and it's a joy to come to work every day. We really make it fun. We really do. So you guys can join with us in this song that we're about
But we don't want to upstage you, so
The
we'll
problem
try
with
to
that
tone it
is-
down.
The problem
We
with
can't
that
make any
is,
promises.
the problem with that is I've often been compared to Julie Andrews if somebody just happens to hear me
It's more
singing.
like Beyonce vibes.
Yeah,
but,
maybe a little closer to that. So
Here's
looks
the
like-
words. Sound of Music.
it
theme
looked like
song.
it skipped a slide, but here we go.
You guys ready?
Fundraisers many and silly fun antics,
I'm not hearing you.
moving our building, and those walls full of handprints.
Tammy themed days.
With those birthday
birthday
flings. Here we go.
These are a few of our favorite things.
Community Christmases.
And eating lunch out.
Wait for it.
Halloween parades with children about.
Here it is. Tammy's skirt fell to her knees. It did cling.
More later.
These
Are a few of our favorite things.
going into the climax. When the flood comes,
When the alarm rings, when we're feeling sad,
we simply remember the joy Tammy brings, and then we don't feel so bad. That was nice. There was harmony in there. So let's revisit this, and you notice that this Photoshop work of art that has taken place here, because I actually was not able to capture that moment, but I will tell you, I was coming in early one morning as the sun was cascading through the window, and I love to come in early like Tammy, and she's literally walking by the front door, so the light's filtering in, and she's walking by, and she's walking out of her skirt. Now, I didn't know her that well at this point. We had just started working at the office, and she's walking, and it was going down. So true story, I kind of froze like a deer in the headlights because I was like, do I look away? Do I laugh? Do I make eye contact? Do I pretend I didn't see it?
All of the
What do I
above.
do? All of the above. And in that moment, Tammy, once she realized that she had walked out of her skirt, she did have a slip on, you can see that. Once she had realized she had done this, she turns to me and was like, well, there's that. Let's go get coffee. And I knew at that moment we were
best friends ever.
best friends forever. It was the highlight of my, there's been a lot of highlights, but that was a highlight for sure. So, Tammy, we love you. Hey, that got down there at the bottom somehow.
That's okay.
That's okay. We've had so much fun together. We look forward to so many more laughs. Somebody said after we had a meeting, and they were like, it seems like a fun place to work, and it genuinely is. We find laughter in a lot of things. I wouldn't trade places with any of you. It's a great place to be. So I appreciate you, love you.
Love
and
you. And we're here all night.
Boom,
roasted.
Boom roasted.
I love you. I love you. Thank you.
One more round of applause for the duo. It was wonderful. How you doing?
I'm good.
Okay. She's good, she says. Well, we're not done. There's more. There's more. Another dynamic duo, David and Sheila Goins. Please come to the dais for your presentation.
Love you.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
We are delighted to be a part of these shenanigans, we should say. I have the privilege, and I've had the privilege of knowing Tammy for, my goodness, 30 years now plus. My goodness. And so it was kind of difficult, I have to say. I was like, well, what in the world am I going to say about Tammy? And you know what? Prayer fixes all things. Said a little prayer, and this I felt like the Holy Spirit just really revealed quite a few things that, I couldn't reveal, just couldn't bring to my own self. So anyway, I appreciate that that Tammy is my sister. She is dearly a dear friend.
We have props.
She is, we do have a few props. Nothing that we haven't already seen. But she's a sister, and we've known each other in ministry. I feel like that Tammy is my children's mother. She is known as Mama Tammy. By probably many of you actually refer to her as Mama Tammy, but she's definitely been Mama Tammy to myself and my household for over 30 years now. My kids would go to camp with First Bethalto Baptist kids. I feel like tonight has been a First Bethalto Baptist reunion, which has been super great. But what I love about Tammy is she's a mama. She's a mama bear. And she's going to look over and oversee, and my husband and I received comfort in knowing that Tammy, when my kids were in Tennessee at a youth camp, that Mama Tammy was with them. And so when I got that phone call from Mama Tammy, I knew Mama Tammy was going to give me some good stuff, or not so good stuff about my son. Nonetheless, so let me just say that I've nicknamed Tammy, and then maybe you all refer to her. I call her Tam Tam, and she gets excited. She thinks that Tam Tam is very endearing, and so what I did a little research. It is endearing, but I did a little research and a little bit of prayer. And I come to find out that the definition of Tam Tam is exactly who she is, and that is a metal gong with an indefinite pitch. Tam Tam is an indefinite pitch, a pitch that is going to ring indefinitely. And I don't know about you, but Tammy's presence in this community is one that is ringing and is going to ring indefinitely. So we appreciate Tam Tam. And the definition of Tam Tam, that sound that won't go away. You ever hear a sound and it's kind of like, what is going on? What is that sound? Let me follow it. Let me figure out what it is so I can go and stop the sound. Newsflash, community, Tam Tam is not going away. That sound is going to be one that we can enjoy in years and years and years to come. But thank you, Tammy, for being a mama bear that gives comfort to this community. In addition to her being a mama bear, she always has these beautiful red glasses that when she enters a room, you think that she just needs them to just see, but Tammy sees everything. There's not much that she does not see. Not only does she have glasses to see everything around her, but she sees intentionally, she sees in the spirit, and I bet everybody who works around her knows that she has eyes in the back of her head.
All the way around.
So what is Tammy mostly known for? We appreciate the fact that she is known for her.
She's known for hers.
These scarves. I guess that's what it is she wears around her head. So I'm just going to spell out scarf for you, and I'm going to say that the letter S for Tam Tam, as we spell out scarf, the letter S, when I think of Tammy, I think of her as being sassy and selfless. And what do you think of the letter S there, Mayor Goins, when you think of Tammy?
I think of the word strapper. A strapper, beside the obvious, means to toil or labor as hard as possible. And based upon that, a strapper is an extremely hard worker.
I can't even take you serious.
And Tammy is one of the hardest working women that I know. She is such a strapper. There we go.
So as we move on to the letter C of scarf, scarf means I see her as someone who is super classy, super Christ-like, and she can even be a little bit of a crybaby, and I love that about her. Because she is, to me, very endearing and very sincere. And when she cries, her cries are sincere. Her cries not only change lives, but they move hearts. And that's my letter C in scarf.
Tammy just loves scarves, and so we just brought a bunch of scarves just to remember how wonderful she is. When I think of the word C, and I was trying to come up with all of these different words that you never heard before. And the one thing that when you come to an event, you're going to find Tammy, because Tammy is the most colorful person in the room. And if you can't find her color, just listen, because the other C is chatterbox. Because she loves to chatter. Chatter, 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 chatter.
You never said it like that.
Like that Tam Tam.
Yeah, I like that Tam. There's an ongoing. Boom, boom. And then the last word that I found, and this is the one that it's not funny, but it describes her. It's the word capacious. And capacious means having a lot of space inside, roomy, which is her heart. Because she has the biggest heart, but she also wears some capacious clothes. But they're big clothes.
A in the word scarf, when I think of Tammy, is that she is incredible. She is incredibly articulate. She is animated, just like David up here. And many of us in this community who have been a recipient of her love and gifts, she is also angelic.
Yes.
I just want to know if I get this bag of scars.
The word that I found about Tammy is she is altiloquous. You're wondering what altiloquous means. That means you're talking loudly and more figuratively, talking about lofty and important subjects. And you have to be altiloquous if you're going to be a dreamer. And Tammy is a dreamer, and you see her dreams come to pass. See, I'm not bad, not bad.
On to the letter R. I have to say that in thinking about Tammy and what the letter R relates to her character, she is ridiculously relentless.
And I think of Tammy as being the word R, red, for the cover here, and for her fiery side.
Yes.
'Cause I remember I sent a young man to her church, from my church to Riverbend Family Ministries, in need of help. And this man got a little angry and mad and kind of rambunctious toward Tammy. And that A for angelic? No. You seen the fire come out. You seen Tammy's eyes turn red. And that young man did not know who he was messing with. So I say she's for red and then razzle dazzle, because you are just razzle dazzle.
And the F means freakishly fearless. Tammy is freakishly fearless. And as it relates to the mama bear that he just spoke about that came out in her, she is a mom who can be cuddly and lovable, but also has a ferocious side when it is necessary to protect her cubs. Her cubs being this community. I don't know about you, David, but I'm kind of glad to be one of Tammy's cubs.
I am too. And I came up with the word for F, frisky. Because you do have a playful side. And frisky also means you are like the cat that chases the little ball of string all over the room. Because you are so full of energy, so I could not think of a better word to describe you, Tammy, as being frisky.
As I close with, a scripture comes to my mind as it relates to Tammy, and that is Psalms 139, verse 14 tells us, and I'm just paraphrasing a bit of it, that I am fearfully and wonderfully made. God has created each of us in a way that is unique and special. Each of us is designed to bring him glory in a way that no one else can. We are honored today to roast Tammy and know that the Lord has blessed us with such a significant woman who is very unique, and she brings the best out in this community. Thank you, Tam Tam, for understanding the assignment that God has placed on your life, and for allowing the community, our community, to sow and also to reap the blessings of your obedience. Tam, thank you for what you have continued to do, which is to be fearless for what you want.
put on 5 and be gorgeous.
You can leave that bag of scarves right there. I'm sure I got outfits for all of them.
One more time for the going Sheila and the Karate Kid. I like the last one. I think it was Karate Kid. I like that. All right, we move along here. I don't know how many scarves he'll have in his presentation, but Nick Dar will come up next. Nick is a former board member of Riverbend Family Ministries. I work with Nick, and I'm contractually obligated to ask you to laugh at this next presentation. So, ladies and gentlemen, Nick Dar. Doesn't fit. Okay. You may laugh, but it might not be for the right reasons. I am a general manager of the Big Z. Mark, all that training we did on show prep, I can tell, really sunk in. Maybe get the ribbon ready ahead of time next time. Lots of targets in the room, so just beware. Big Z general manager and former RFM board president. We had a meeting earlier this week to discuss how this night was going to go, and one of the topics was, what's everybody wear? And I went with this because nothing really says I care, but not that much, like a suit with no tie. So. Also at that meeting, I was voted most likely to create awkward audience silence. So, actually I wasn't voted that, but I could tell they were all thinking that. So. I was glad I didn't have to go first. This is the first roast I've ever done, so it gave me a little bit of idea of what I can and cannot say tonight, more importantly. So let's see here. No, can't say that. Ooh, definitely not that. Oh, here we go. It is great to be here roasting my friend Tammy Iskarous. It's funny that we're honoring Tammy with comedy. I've always thought of her as more of a drama queen. Like it. Awkward silence number 1. We need a rim shot. It is sort of difficult to find something funny to say about Tammy for me because my sense of humor tends to skew more to the, shall we say, sarcastic side. And Tammy is so nice and good, it's hard to find something for me to say. But I did find some people that had some not so nice things to say about Tammy. This has all been kept very, very quiet, and unless you were on the inside, you certainly wouldn't know this. But at the beginning of the year, Tammy was actually considering a run for governor of Illinois. And I thought she would have been a great choice, truthfully. And actually, the Pritzker campaign got wind of this. And they were pretty concerned. So they actually put together an opposition ad that they asked us at the Big Z to produce. So, well, here it is. I think we have it ready to play.
Who does Tammy Iskarous think she is? As executive director of a quote, non-profit organization, she hasn't embezzled one nickel. She doesn't even have an offshore account set up in the Caymans to avoid paying taxes. Closing a successful business to start an organization to help others.
Well, thank you for being so generous to me, Tammy.
Who does that? Putting every dollar raised back into her community? Flossing every day? Holding the door for the elderly? Volunteering for literally everything? Hugging everyone and smiling while she's doing it?
God bless you, Tammy Iskarous.
Come on. Tammy Iskarous. Too good for Illinois. That's why the citizens to elect Fred Flintstone for governor.
Anybody else think Governor Pritzker kind of looks like Fred Flintstone, or is that just me? So Tammy actually heard that ad and decided that she didn't want to drag her family through a tough gubernatorial race like that. So she decided not to run. But Anyway, you guys like knock knock jokes? Okay, all right, here we go. Knock knock. Control freak. Now you say control freak who? I personally do not think Tammy is a control freak at all, but I mean, we really do appreciate when she comes on the radio and gives very insightful answers to the questions she tells us to ask. She could probably stop being a control freak if everybody else would just stop screwing things up. Right, Retta? You know what I'm talking about, huh? Yeah, you know, Tammy's husband, Retta, is a brilliant engineer from Egypt. And when I first met Retta, he was actually trying to get me to go into business with him selling ancient Egyptian artifacts. Unfortunately, it turned into be a pyramid scheme. Awkward audience silence number 2. I have an engineer joke. An engineer, a priest, and a thief have all been sentenced to death by guillotine. And they're up on the platform, and the priest is going first. And he says, if you would, please allow me to lie in the guillotine facing up, so that I might face God as I get ready to join him. The guards allow it and put him in face up, and they're ready to go. The guard pulls the lever, and the blade comes down and stops a millimeter from his throat. And they're so surprised by this freakish incident that they think it must be a miracle, so he's let go and pardoned. So the thief is up next, and he says, well, worked for the priest, maybe I'll give it a try. And he has to be put in facing up so he can repent from his sins before he's put to death. And again, they concur and put him in face up, and they pull the lever, and again, the blade stops a millimeter from his throat, and the thief is also pardoned. The engineer is last, and here he comes, and he has to be put in face up as well, and they get the engineer in, and he's all set, and the guard's getting ready to pull the lever, and the engineer says, wait, stop, I think I see the problem. Well, I'm getting the wrap-up sign from Karen Wilson. Actually, I was getting the wrap-up sign before I even came up. So I guess I should lead by saying something nice about Tammy like Mayor Goins and Sheila did. But so I have lots of nice things to say about Tammy, actually. And I'll just say 2. 1, it is a proven fact that being around Tammy will make you a better person. And 2, I consider it still one of the greatest honors of my 45 years to have been asked by Tammy to serve as RFN board president. It's truly amazing that one person could have such a positive impact on the world, and I'm blessed to call you and Retta friends. That's all I have. Thank you very much. I'll be kicking off my comedy tour next month at the Knights of Columbus in Danville, Illinois. Visit nickthinkshe'sfunny.com for ticketing information. Thank you. That was delightful. Is he looking over here still? So one of the first people to step up and volunteer to be a roaster is our next guest. It says here for you to be afraid. I don't know that you're afraid of much, but I don't really know Ron that well, so we're going to find out. Would Ron Woods please come to the dais and not make us too afraid, but he's very excited to be here. Ladies and gentlemen, Ron Woods.
I know, right?
I know. Little known secret, Tammy taught me to love bagels. Gave me my first bagel. She did. And just let me set the record straight. I did not volunteer. She called and asked me to roast her. Who does that? Who does that? And all I could say was, best night of my life. She has been very worried about what I'm going to say up here, and I keep telling her she doesn't have a thing in the world to worry about because I know nothing. Nothing. The truth is that she and I have a mutual destruction agreement, and she could take me out as easily as I could take her out, so I'm going to be very careful. I first met Tammy. I don't know. She was one of my youth workers when I was in the youth group back at First Baptist, and nothing from that. I'm going to get away with that.
That you were in the youth group?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, I heard it.
You missed that. Okay.
No, I didn't. Remember, I see.
So this may not go well after all.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, she called and asked me if I would mind roasting her, and she said that she was considered one of the distinguished women of Metro East, and I thought, man, that's a wonderful thing. And I just sat and reflected on that for a minute and thought how great that was. Then I kind of realized that's like being the best player on the Cubs. See what I did there? See what I did? No. I have nothing but respect for her. I want to tell you about some of the wonderful things that Tammy has done. For real, for honest. She was one of my volunteer staff at First Baptist Church in Bethalto as I was youth pastor there. Did a wonderful job, just a godly woman, and I'm not kidding you at all. I want to show you some pictures of people that she made a difference in their lives. No joke. Tammy picks up strays. She finds somebody who's homeless, a kid, and she brings them home and takes care of them. On the screen right now, you're going to see a picture of Michael. That's Michael and his now wife. This is a picture much more recent, I understand. What's his wife's name? Jacqueline. So that's them. Tammy brought them home at one point. The next picture you're going to see is Eleanor. Wonderful young lady from Sweden. And I took it upon myself one evening to allow her to experience all of the junk food that we have in America. And I took her to Walmart, and I don't know if you went with us or not, but we bought Twinkies and we bought Pop-Tarts and all of those healthy, wonderful things, and brought her back to Tammy's house, and she got to eat them all. So that's Eleanor. The next one is Alex. That's Alex. And is he the most recent? Yeah, Alex, great guy. Love him to death. And then, of course, there's the other stray that she brought home. That's her favorite stray of all. He gets to stay. I don't know if he's got a contract or what's going on, but she keeps him there. That's her Redaman. When I was youth pastoring in Bethalto and Tammy was a part of our volunteer team, we didn't quite know what to do with her. So talented, so wise, such a loving heart. But we just had a hard time keeping her on task. And often I would look around trying to figure out what Tammy's doing, and I would find her doing what nobody else would do. Maybe making paper airplanes over the pulpit, for instance. You don't even remember that one, do you, Tammy? You do not even remember that shot, but that made it very difficult for us to know what to do and how to use her. And so we did the only thing we could. We looked for her talents with kids, and we finally found what she was good at that no one else could do. We'd stand her in the corner, and she would collect our trash for us. She was wonderful at that. Nothing ever hit the ground. She was there to take care of everything, which concerned us because she seemed to develop a little attitude at that point. And, you know, she's got that Quick Trip cup there tonight that says Dr. Pepper next to it. But we're in the wrong place. Don't keep looking, don't keep looking, don't keep looking. There we go. There we go. There, you know, we never knew for sure what was in that. Just like we're not quite sure what's in this, because after the airplanes, and I'd have to have that talk with her and give her the trash bag to stand off to the side and collect everybody's trash. Then she's drinking out of cups that we don't know for sure what they are. So I had to worry a little bit about Tammy. One day, it was Easter. My wife was out of town. My kids were still living at home at that time. And we were all going to go to Tammy and Retta's house for Easter lunch. You know where this goes, Tammy? I'm sure you know exactly where this goes. It was a great event. We left church. I told my kids, you go on to Tammy's house. I get there as soon as I can. I got to go home and change clothes and pick up the chocolate. My job was to deliver chocolate bunnies and all of these different things to her house to be consumed. Tammy was really looking forward to that part. Tammy loves chocolate. Tammy loves all kinds of chocolate. As I was leaving the house, I glanced over, and on the dresser, there were these little white soap ducks. My wife and I had recently been at the Peabody Hotel in Memphis, And they were there in the bathroom. Nobody would ever wash their hands with those. So I scooped them and put them in my pocket, brought them home. And I thought, Tammy and I can trick some people with these. We can let people think these are white chocolate. Tammy would be great at that, wouldn't she? So I took them to Tammy's house and I spread out all the chocolate. The kids were in glory. And then I went in the kitchen where Tammy was cooking. And I reached in my pocket and I pulled out those ducks. And I held them out to Tammy. And I was about to say, Tammy, who can we get with these? Who can we tell that this is white chocolate? And before I could say anything, Tammy said, oh, chocolate. And she grabbed a duck and bit the head off. She started chewing. It was the longest moment of my life. And she went, this is soap. And as she said, soap, a bubble blew out of her nose and her mouth. I understand that she was sick for several days after that. She didn't tell me that at the time. But I'd like you to see the duck. There it is. It's in her curio cabinet at home to this very day. The famous soap duck from the Peabody. The problem with the soap duck episode was, at that point, I never knew for sure if I could trust Tammy any longer. I had to watch myself. But what I learned was that this is a woman that you can trust, a woman you can count on, the kind of person that you can let behind you without worrying about anything. I have no idea in reality what was going on at that moment. I have no recollection of it. I'm not sure that I knew that Tammy was behind me and that knife was even there. I found it recently, and then she asked me to roast her, and it just seemed too good to be true.
God just allowed those things to happen.
He does, doesn't he? Go to the next picture, though. The truth is, I want to just take 60 seconds and tell you about that Tammy. One of the best people I know. She and Red are some of my best friends. Who else would I have given my daughter to say, hey, give this girl to your son? I think they'd make a great couple. And Kelly, you know that's the way it worked, right? Yeah, I set all that up. No, I call Tammy my wife-in-law because she is my daughter's mother-in-law. I also call Retta my husband-in-law, which means nothing. Everybody else started roasting you, Retta, so I thought I probably should as well. I don't know. I love this person. She is precious. She is wonderful. She is the real deal. It seems like as a pastor, you get to meet a lot of people who are fake, who want to pretend that they're good and that they do nice things. But I really don't know anybody who does more truly good in a community than Tammy Iskarous. And I'm very proud of you. I'm honored to call you my wife-in-law, but most of all, I'm honored to call you my friend.
Thank you, Ron. One more time for Ron. Very nice. Thank you very much. All right, we're rounding the corner and heading to the final, to the finish line. Tammy, you need to crack that other Dr. Pepper open? Are you all right? You're good? Okay, very good. So those who know us best, most likely, most intimately sometimes, are family. And so we saved the family for last to come up and say a few words. So Joe and Christy, their children, you're invited to come up now. Just Joe. Okay. Is that good or bad? All right, we'll find out. Here comes Joe. Joe McGill.
Hi, Mom. This is fun. Hi, everybody. First of all, I just want to say it is so fun to be in a room like this tonight, to be invited to be a participant in honoring but also roasting my mother. So thank you to the Pride organization for organizing tonight and for all the work that you're doing to help this community that we all care about very deeply. Appreciate you all. Another hand for them, please. I see a lot of familiar faces in the room. Some of you I've probably not seen since I was a teenager, which feels appropriate because I was a teenager the last time that I was in rooms with people who were making jokes about my mom. A little bit different jokes, but still, you know. I now have teenagers of my own. They love your mom jokes, and so, you know, when they make your mom jokes, it's their grandma jokes, which I find fun. But let's get to it. Let's talk about my mom, Tammy Iskarous. Mama Tammy. You've already heard her called that once tonight. I am very lucky to share my mom with lots and lots and lots of people over the years. One thing that I know, though, for certain is that no matter how many people call my mom Mom, or how many people that I share my mom with, my sister is still going to be annoyed that I'm her favorite. It's true. It's true. But my sister Christy, who is here, and I were very, very lucky to grow up with a mom who was a great example of being a strong woman, leader, who instilled a lot of really great qualities in us, showed us a great example of a lot of things, not the least of which, and one that I particularly am a fan of, is the value of if you're a person who believes enough and you work really, really hard, you can become anything that you want to be. You can see anything that you want to see happen, right? And a lot of you know that she is that way. For example, my mom believes that she's a Texan. She will tell anybody who will listen that she's a Texan.
I was born in Texas. That makes me a Texan.
Don't ask for Texas.
This is not true. This woman is from Granite City, Illinois. The only thing that you have in common with Texans...
I was born in Texas.
The only thing you have in common with Texans is that you're often the center of your own universe, and you sometimes have challenges with people crossing your borders. But she did, write all your notes, I don't care. She also got, she really was a good example of being able to, go out and like work hard and reinvent herself. When my sister and I were young and we, left for, we were out of the house and left for school, she started a long process of reinventing herself, starting by leaving her job as a stay-at-home mom and coming here to this very institution where we're right now to get her associate's degree to join the medical field as a lab technician. So, apparently staying at home and taking care of people that you love didn't pay enough. So, she went ahead and started to make a path for herself, which, I appreciate. But also, also appreciate the value of community education is here at Lewis and Clark. That gives opportunity for people in our community to lift themselves up, lift up their families, to invest back into the community in ways that, in my mom's case, I think is fairly profound. But it was in the medical field where she met a wonderful Egyptian man named Riverbend Family that we're all very happy to have in our family. But Mom, again, keeping priceless Egyptian treasures in your home is something that the English do, not Texans. Not Texans. I'm gonna hook you. So they met, fell in love, got married, and started off on several adventures where she got to continue to reinvent herself. Nick already stole my my pyramid scheme joke that I was going to make at this point, but they started to go into business, and she traded her lab coat for an apron when they opened TR's Cafe, a bagel and coffee shop that was a lot of fun. Ran it for, 10, 11 years?
14.
14 years? You guys sold bagels for 14 years? Wow. And that entire time as I was growing up, and my sister and I were teenagers, breakfasts, lunch, they were feeding the community. And then in the evenings at home, we were getting Chinese takeout. They say that the cobbler's kids have no shoes. Well, the restaurateur's kids have a fridge with like a 2-liter bottle of Diet Dr. Pepper and some like leftover carryout boxes. This is what happens. You were tired. I understand. I loved it. Chinese takeout's great. But then after that, she reinvented herself again. When after many years of running that business that were really fruitful years, she decided to trade in her apron for the scarves and the wraps to become the woman who looks in a crystal ball and tells you your future. I don't know. I'm so sorry. You're beautiful. I love you. Yeah, that's right. But no, they opened this nonprofit that you're all familiar with at this point, Riverbend Family Ministries, that helps support people in the community, and I couldn't be more proud. In fact, in all of the years and all of the people that she's met along the way and all the people that she's helped, we joke that she should be like the unofficial mayor of Riverbend, right? And she swears that she does not have any interest in getting into politics. I know that this has already come up tonight. She swears, but like I find it very surprising because you already like do most of the job. Like you've got all of the qualifications, right? You can get up in front of people and give speeches. You're very comfortable asking people for money. You send me awkward text messages that I didn't want and didn't ask for. It's annoying.
Oh, just wait.
Yeah. But really, it's a pleasure to be here with you all tonight and to get a chance to hear lots of nice things about my mom, all of which are no surprise to me. At the end of the day, I'm very, very blessed to have this woman as my mother, and the example that no matter how many career stops you have, how many different uniforms or wardrobes you go through, at the end of the day, you can stay true to who you really are as a person, which is somebody who takes care of the people who they love, even if it doesn't pay a very good salary. Thank you.
Oh, this wasn't that nice? That was good. That was nice. One more time for Joe. Thanks. That was very good. Nice job. So as you've witnessed, we know that Tammy is quite a colorful character, purple or not, or whatever color you wanted to wear that day. It's up to you. You do what you want. Enormous capacity for caring and sharing and advocating for our community, networking, inspiring, her passion for people, business, the history of our region, from Texas to Granite City and everywhere in between. We have shot many loving arrows in your direction. I wasn't expecting that. Needed that earlier to get that ribbon open. Jeez. But now is her turn. It's called The Last Word, and now we hear from the woman of the hour, Tammy Iskarous. We only have the room till 8, so go ahead and just... Do you want a list?
No, I got a list. I got a list. First of all, just thank you all so very much for being here. Thank you, Karen. I wasn't really sure what I was getting myself into, but it's been a fun night, and hopefully we've raised some awareness, not only of RFM, but of Pride and the great work that they do in the area, and some of the many projects that they work on, and I am just proud to be able to be a part of that. Now on to my list. Angie and Mad Gang, where are you? Aaron, they're fired. Now, it was honestly the truth when she talked about my skirt, and I literally, I'm not gonna demonstrate, that would be weird. I walked across the floor, and it literally, I could feel it going to the floor. And I just looked at her, and I went, and we just kept going. We just kept going. So I knew that was probably one of the stories that would come up. But I know they say those things in love. And if you notice, they are dressed like me, with obnoxious jewelry, with scarves, with flowy things, and a lot of necklaces. But I was told one time, if you can't lose it, dress it up. And so there it is. Okay, who is next on that list? The Goenses. When's your term up, Mayor? No, I love you both dearly. And it's been fun to be Mama Bear to your children. I was the lost and found keeper of all Mark's things. Because he'd go play basketball and he'd be shooting hoops, and that big gold chain or his wallet would be left on the court. And I would just say, okay, Mark, here's your, but I have loved watching your family grow. So thank you for being a part of my life, and I really was serious when I said I want that bag of scarves. Who is next? That was Nick. If I'm the mayor of Illinois, does that mean you now get to be the GM?
Oh, whatever you want, Miss Tammy.
I mean, if I'm now the mayor of Illinois, or the governor of Illinois, I kind of get to do whatever. I think you get to own a station.
Own a station? Oh.
You can just go straight there. No, I remember a good story about Nick is that I asked him to be part of the board, and the first time I asked him, he moved away and got a different job. I think he was back in town for like a week, and I asked him again, and he's accused me of, I just do not take no for an answer. And I really don't. I've been accused of pecking like a duck until I get what I want. But that's sort of like being a visionary. I am bold, I am tenacious, there's hard work to be done, and Nick's right. I will bug you until we get the results that we need. And I knew I needed a good leader, whether he has really bad jokes or not. I knew. And then there's Ron Woods. The best part of Ron Woods is his daughter, Kelly. Honestly, I could not have wrote a list of what I wanted God to honor my son with and been blessed any more than my daughter-in-law. But then that also came with her dad. Now, Ron and I go way back, and he's right, and we've done some youth camp things together and a lot of fun things together, and there are stories that we have decided will go to the grave. There are stories about youth and their families, because you know teenagers will tell you everything. Especially in a youth group at camp when they don't think anybody's listening, and they're having their come to Jesus moment, and they tell you everything about their family. We know those stories, and we have sworn that they will go to the grave. But then there's stories about Ron that we say will just go to the grave. And I'm so excited that I get to tell those stories sooner than later. You are? Okay. And then there's my children. I often say that my legacy is RFM because of the work we do. But that's not true. My legacy are those two individuals that sit at that table. And when you can stand in front of them and you can say, I'm proud of the humans that you are and the footprint that you are leaving in this world, that is the best legacy a mom can have. Now, you are cut out of the will.
Whatever, he's the favorite.
Christy says he's the favorite. Okay, sometimes he is. But I will let you know, and I tell this to probably more than one person has heard me say that nobody lights up a room faster than my daughter when she walks through it. Nobody. As you can see, I am a blessed woman. I don't even know what to say other than to say thank you. Thank you for the opportunity for people to make fun at my expense while I get to sit. And Don Clark, was that really me singing? Because I started to make a note about crazy and how crazy it was that you were playing that song, because I actually sang that in front of a bunch of people at an event. So that was pretty cool. Anyway, I digress. I am proud to stand here as a representative of the Riverbend community, not only for a great organization, but for our families in crisis. Friends, there's a lot of work to do. We have a lot of things to accomplish. And yes, I am tenacious. Yes, I am all those things, all the things. But I understand that I have a group of people that have bought in to the craziness of the lady with the scarf, and the lady with the flowy things, and the lady with the crazy jewelry. And you all have bought in to this in order to accomplish the things that we need to accomplish in this community. I could not be prouder of this community. I could not be prouder than the people that work at RFM and the work that is being done throughout the Riverbend. Thank you all so much. God bless you, and let's just get the work done. That's all.
You just go ahead and drink your dog. That's fine. That's fine. I just have one couple of announcements on behalf of Pride Incorporated, and then the evening is complete. One more time for Tammy. That was awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Again, on behalf of Pride Incorporated, we have a presentation. Karen, do you want to come up here and help with this? The thing? Do you want it to come up and do the thing? The thing? Yes. It's all right. So we have something, and Pride Incorporated has something as a token of tonight and of your long work, hard work, and all the things that you do. And there you go. This plaque. Thank you, Tammy, for all you've done on behalf of Pride Incorporated. Go out that way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Frickin' frack. I know it's not a soap duck for your curio cabinet, but maybe you can find a place for it. We're very proud to be friends with you and for everything that you do for the Riverbend. And we hope this partnership will just continue. It will.
Again, as I mentioned earlier, I think most of the cards are still on the tables. If you're able to or you're willing to and you're called to today or sometime, you can scan the QR code to make a tribute gift on behalf of a project in Tammy's honor. If you'd like to make a cash or a check donation and leave it in the basket near the door as you head out at the table, that's there, you can do that. Or sometime down the road and just get it to the Pride office, to Karen's office, whoever, one of the Pride board members, they would certainly take that on your behalf. And be watching in the coming weeks and months for the new anti-littering focus that Pride will be taking part in. It's called Love Where You Live. Studies confirm that visually appealing communities increase property values, attract business, improve neighborhood image, and can even promote good behavior. Beauty is one of the 3 most influential factors in community attachment. We all want to be part of a community that cares, that takes care of not only its surroundings, takes care of its people in the community. So be sure to follow Pride Incorporated if you don't already on Facebook and get involved in their activities, volunteering not just with litter cleanups but other beautification projects that happen along the way. And be proud of the 56 years that you have helped to support and continue on for decades to come and continue Pride Incorporated into the future. In the words of Anne Frank, how wonderful it is that nobody need wait a single moment before starting to improve the world. Thank you all for coming to honor Tammy, to support Pride Incorporated. Safe travels and a blessed rest of your holiday season. Thank you.